the civil service, deputizing billionaire oligarchs, using the DOJ to settle scores, now getting into a yelling match with the Ukrainian president. Donald Trump appears to be Putinizing the American presidency at a very rapid pace. Joining me now, Senator Richard Blumenthal, Democrat of Connecticut, part of a bipartisan group of senators who met with the Ukrainian president earlier today before Donald Trump kicked him out. I want to ask you about that meeting, but first, just on that story I was talking about, which has not kind of blown up into a scandal in the way the Eric Adams scandal was, but has very similar contours insofar as the kind of huge red flag of the line attorneys, the professionals being like, I can't do this. But to me is even worse insofar as it represents the Justice Department being used as not a shield, not protecting someone, but as a sword.
Both are terrifying, and especially to one like myself, a former prosecutor, U.S. attorney, and attorney general for the state of Connecticut for 20 years. An investigation, a prosecution, charges, an indictment can ruin lives. And the weaponization of justice smacks of Stalinist Russia. As Stalin's chief of his secret police said, show me the man and I'll show you the crime.
Right.
That's the way the so-called justice system operated in that autocracy. We are facing the same terrifying weaponization of justice here.
I know that you've written to the acting U.S. attorney for D.C., Ed Martin, who seems to be quite a character, about some of what he's said. And he is only acting. Personally, I think that some of these are impeachable offenses from officers of the United States. We'll see what happens. I don't have much trust in the current Republican Congress. You were part of, I think Roger Wicker, was he in the meeting with you today?
He was.
Okay, so Roger Wicker, who's the chair of the Armed Services Committee, Mississippi senator, he posted this picture. It was that saying that the deal was a huge step forward in securing mutual prosperity and peace for Americans and Ukrainians. It was a picture of him shaking hands with Zelenskyy. He then deleted that post afterwards. What was the bipartisan meeting like?
The bipartisan meeting was extremely positive. We were on one side, he on the other, 10 of us, bipartisan. And he was hailed as a hero. Zelenskyy was ready, willing, and able to sign that agreement. And what was most striking, Chris, is the recognition that we have a mutual and common interest with Ukraine. Defending democracy, Putin will keep going against other democracies if he's not stopped in Ukraine. And this mineral deal, I happen to differ with the underlying premise that Ukraine should be paying America. We should be thanking Ukraine, and we should be helping it without demanding an exploitive deal in this way. But there was support for the deal, and Zelenskyy clearly was ready, willing, and able to sign it.
I want to play what Senator Lindsey Graham was saying. I think it was at Munich. Were you at Munich? Did you go to
Yes.
Munich? Okay. So Munich's the big security conference. A bunch of U.S. senators go. I believe this original sound is from Munich, February 14th. I think that's right. This is him talking about Zelenskyy just 2 weeks ago, and then talking about what happened today in the Oval Office. Take a listen.
I want to tell you and your people, you're the ally I've been hoping for all my life. Not one American has died defending Ukraine. You've taken our weapons and you've kicked their ass. And I'm very proud to have you as our ally. So, what did I think? Complete, utter disaster. What I saw in the Oval Office was disrespectful, and I don't know if we can ever do business with Zelenskyy again. He either needs to resign and send somebody over that we can do business with, or he needs to change.
How do you take this guy seriously?
Lindsey Graham was right 2 weeks ago. I was in the room in Munich when he said that. And by the way, Lindsey Graham and I have traveled to Ukraine. I've been there 6 times. And every time I've been there, Zelenskyy has exemplified the courage and strength of his people, beginning right after the invasion when they pushed the Russians back, belittling and demeaning a hero. He is really a hero, and he'll be more of a hero now in Ukraine.
Well, look, there's probably 80 U.S. senators, I would say, probably 80 to 85, that would, in a, secret ballot, basically support Zelenskyy, support U.S. weapons, support security guarantees, want to give them the strongest hand possible in any negotiations. That's not the position of the President of the United States and the leader of the Republican Party. He wants to give part of Ukraine to Putin. He likes Putin. He doesn't like Ukraine and Zelenskyy. He likes the authoritarian model. He doesn't like democracies. I'm done asking like when Republican senators are going to speak up. They're not going to, right? So now what happens?
Well, first, you're absolutely right. There's a through line here. Trump's sycophancy to Putin, whether Helsinki or today, and Republican sycophancy to Trump. But what we need to do is mobilize the American people who truly believe in Zelenskyy. It's one thing to be looking for gratitude. It's another to be demanding groveling, which is what they did today. And it was a pathetic ambush. I think a mugging, a bait and switch. They invited Zelenskyy to come. He was ready to sign this agreement, which favors the United States. And they, in effect, ambushed him. So I think we need a mutuality of interest to be recognized here.
Senator Richard Blumenthal, Connecticut, thank you for your time tonight. Appreciate it.
Thank you.